Hello, this is Sabrina Alery with a video tutorial for Clearsnap, and today we're going to be working with the Colorbox pigment inks and a StencilGirl stencil to create a piece of pretty holiday home decor using the reverse stenciling technique. So let's get started.
So we've got our stencil here, a lovely globe image from StencilGirl, and I want to begin by applying ink to the actual stencil itself. I'm using our mixed media ink line. This is one of the heaviest, juiciest, most blendable pigment inks available on the market, and it works really great for this technique. You can be sure that ink will stay nice and wet for when we apply it onto our base paper. So once the stencil is covered, I'm just going to position that stencil where I'd like it. Drop it down. Then I'm going to secure it in place with a removable tape, washi tape, painter's tape. Any of those will do for this. I've secured all four sides, and then I'm going to apply that ink with the back side, from the back side of the stencil. I'm using the Jumbo Rollograph art wheel, which is just a blank blendable wheel, and I'm pressing that ink right into the paper. Alternately, you could also use a Big Shot Pro or a larger die cut machine to help press that color into the paper. You can peel back and make sure you like what you've got going on here. And then I'm going to apply a couple shades of ink here to create my globe. I'm using our Colorbox color blender, and here I have the green turtle pigment ink. This is a great shade for land. I'm using a map as a reference while I sort of freehand blend on my continents. And you just want to hint at the continents. It doesn't have to be exact or to scale or any of that, but we're just going to apply that ink. Be careful around the edges of the stencil. You don't want any of that color sneaking out onto the background of the paper. The color blender makes it really easy to blend. Once I've completed all my land area, I'm using Robin's Egg pigment ink to blend in my water. You can just blend that blue shade right into the green. Help the colors blend together really easily. Pigment ink stays wet for a nice long time, so it's very blendable, very great to work with for creating those pretty mixed media backgrounds. Alright, when I'm satisfied with my globe area, I'm going to pull off that stencil. You can see the grid lines here in gray, and then I want to add a holiday bit of shimmer. So I've traced and cut out the stencil onto some scratch paper, and I'm just covering around the area that I don't want my smooch spritz to end up. So to get it ready, you're just going to want to roll it between your hands and then give a few spritzes to get that pretty gold shimmer that the smooch spritz is so famous for. You can peel that away, and then I'm going to use a heat gun to set in this pigment ink and make sure everything is dry before we move on to the next step, which is going to be stamping and embossing. I have a nice holiday image here from Hero Arts, and I'm going to ink that up with some black pigment ink. Watermark will do the trick as well. I just want to be able to show you here where we're working. Press it down. I'm using a molding mat behind my paper, which makes it great for stamping. Make sure you can transfer that whole image. And then I'm tilting my paper on the side to apply the embossing powder, just because the pigment ink in the background, I don't want that to stick, the pigment ink to stick anywhere except on my stamped image. I'm going to set that powder with a heat gun, and I can finish out the design by applying some pigment inks. I really love the Qs and the Cuties. It's great for having a lot of colors out on your desk at hand, and they're easily blendable as well. Add a few more details and you have a piece of pretty holiday home decor.